Get ready! Kristina's live stream is about to start!
Down in Baton Rouge, there's a whisper on the wind. A mama blogger with a heart that never bends. Kristina's Smallhorn, always showing the way, helping families find their homes, making dreams stay. She's more than just a realtor, she's here to guide, with modular homes and manufactured pride. From prefab houses to land that's worth the chase, she'll help you find your home, your own sacred place. She's your real estate whisperer, helping dreams come true. Affordable options, she's got the perfect view. Whether it's land or a house you need to find,
Good Sunday afternoon! I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. I don't know if you know this or not, but Tuesday is Super Tuesday. You guys need to get out there and vote if you haven't gotten out there to do it yet. And if you haven't yet, please do it for my birthday, because it just so happens November 5th is my birthday. I don't know if I'm 52 or 53. I don't know. I think I'm 53. I think I'm 50. Am I 53, Eddie? I don't know. Anyways, I don't care. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Last week, we talked about haunted houses, and I ended up finding an article about that. So we're going to be talking about that. Second thing is there's some predictions that are already starting for next year's housing market. And as you can see by the title, they're already predicting more chaos into 2025. And that's why the poll's there. And if you haven't done the poll yet, go ahead and do the poll, because I want to ask your opinion on what's going to be happening with home prices. I'm interested to hear what you think, because I know you guys, a lot of you watch a lot of different live streams. So I'm interested to hear how that poll goes. And then we have one more article. We have no guests this week. It's just you and me. And we do have 3 phone calls. One thing I want to put out there right away is when you call into the AI service that I have, it is AI. It's not a real person. And there was a confusion. I did get one phone call, and he was confused that it was not a real person, and it's not. It's just an answering service that answers the calls and then takes the question down, so that way we can play it on the live stream here. It's the best solution I have, because I would love to do a live stream that where people could call into the show. But the problem is that we've done that in the past, and it doesn't necessarily come out the way that I hope to, because you always get these people that seem on the up and up when they call, and then the minute they're live, then it's a whole different ball of wax. And yeah, that one time was pretty bad. That one time was pretty bad. Yeah. Eric the Blues here. Hey, nice to see you. Very nice to see you, my friend. Very nice to see you. Debbie Brady, future shaper, is here, and moderator extraordinaire. Yes. SB is here. Thank you. It's early. My birthday isn't until Tuesday. Voted via mail 2 weeks ago. Oh, good for you. Yeah, I did the early voting thing. We have a place right down the road. I got in there lickety split. There was no lines. Got done right away. As soon as the first day of early voting, or maybe the second, got right in there and donezo. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if you do want to call in next week for the next week's show, because if you call in now, I'm not going to be able to pull it from the website that I have it hosted on. But if you want to call in a real estate question for next week, go ahead and call 888-255-0197. So you can call that number. Yep. And Eddie says, don't forget to hit the like button. All right. So last week we talked about haunted houses. So I think we need to go into that article first. Sue Jackson said that she voted in person already. Good for you. Yeah, I did it in person. I didn't do it on the old mail, because every time I get anything mailed around here, it takes forever, and half the time it goes to the wrong address. So I'm like, you know what, let me just go ahead and do this in person. Yep. All right, Eddie, do you have that article that you could put up, please? it's oh, here we go. Yep. Real estate agents on how they handle haunted homes in an already scary housing market. Yep. So this was, of course, right before the oh, actually it was up. Yeah, it was right on Halloween that it came out, but they updated it on November 2nd. So, look at that. Nice picture there. All right. After 26 years in the real estate industry, Lisa Moreau typically doesn't bat an eyelid when it comes to spooky homes. Savannah, Georgia based agent has experienced her fair share of lingering visitors over her career, and where the ghost tours are common tourist attractions. I have to tell you, I had a dream right after this was, right after I saw this. Oh no. Is that a paywall? Oh, I'm so mad. That's a paywall. See if you can copy and paste it, Eddie, and see if you can open it up in another tab. But basically, what the article was saying is that if you end up in a haunted house and you see a haunted house, or the sellers disclose the house is haunted, you're going to have to tell the buyers that the sellers claim that the house is haunted. That was her standing on it, and I have to agree. If any, and you guys let me know what you think. If any seller came to me and said, "Hey, we're moving because we feel like there's demons in my house. We've had a lot of paranormal activity, and I don't want to live in this house anymore, and that's why we're selling." Yeah, I would tell them they have to disclose that. But a lot of buyers wouldn't care. Yeah, so nearly 30% of Americans would buy a haunted house. Is it worth the investment? Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. High prices, diminished inventory, and the rising interest rates, and truly terrifying in today's market, that are forcing prospective owners to compromise when it comes to buying their dream home. In fact, some buyers are willing to venture into a nightmare territory, purchasing haunted houses if it satisfies all their requirements. I'm like, you know what though? Oh, look, there's my glasses right there on the screen. That's funny. Tells you what I've been looking up. You see that? So funny. The spookiest day of the year upon us is, and Zillow already is into the Halloween spirit. According to Real Estate Marketplace's new survey, 67% of potential home buyers could be persuaded to buy a haunted house if it had the right features, was in favorable location, or was available at a great price. Per the survey, 40% of respondents say that they would be swayed to buy a haunted house if it had all the features they desired: a big backyard, a pool, a 2-car garage. Meanwhile, 32% said the same if the home were in the perfect location. Moreover, than 30% of the respondents said that they would be more likely to buy a home if they knew it was haunted. 29% to 20% claim that the presence of a ghost would not affect their decision to buy. I'm a little surprised by these numbers. I don't know. Are you guys surprised by this? Because I wouldn't do that. How times have changed. MoneyWise noted in 2020, a survey found that 62% of Americans said that they wouldn't consider living in a house that was reportedly haunted. And according to the survey by approximately Real Estate Witch, 40% of those wouldn't buy a haunted house under any circumstance whatsoever. Thank you so much for living in Omaha, David Matney, who's also a student of mine on my real estate course. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, for the happy birthday wishes on Tuesday. Super Tuesday. For my birthday, so that's that. I just wanted to let you know about the haunted houses. Some people would do them, some people wouldn't. I know that we talked about it last week. I found that article, didn't know it was behind a paywall, but I thought it was interesting. I would let the buyers know. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. All right, Eddie, let's get into the real estate predictions that are already out, that people are giving about the real estate market, because they're already saying it's going to be chaos. Here it is. You can take that phone number off if you could too. All right, the housing market predictions for the rest of 2024. Low levels of inventory mean that sellers continue to have the upper hand in the housing market. This is area specific. Mortgage rates have come down from their peak, but also are still high, and steep prices are dissuading would-be buyers. If rates were to drop further, that would spur the housing market for both buyers and sellers. So I saw a bunch of articles that came out. This is one of those things that, the headline always messes with you. They're like, We have record number of homes that are being pulled from the market. It's that time of year. This is the time of year right at Halloween. People that have been on the market that were overpriced or couldn't get any buyers, they pull their house off the market. You see less listings this time of year every single year. So don't be fooled by the headlines that say, oh, the sellers are blah blah blah. There always is not enough inventory during this time because people are like, I don't want people in my house during the holidays. So that's all I want to put that out there. So the median sales price for an existing home in the U.S. is $404,000 in September 2024, according to the National Association of Realtors. And after briefly raising about 8% in October of 2023. Oh, after average 30-year mortgage rates as of late this October was 6.88%. Man, I wish it was back to those low sixes again. That's a big bummer. It's a welcome decrease, but still much higher than homeowners are looking for in locking in rates. I don't know if you guys remember, but at the peak, do you remember what the peak median home price was here in the United States? Do you remember the peak? And you don't have to do it by like the last 100. So it could be like 400 and blanky blank blank blank. Just let me guess what the highest median home price was at the ultimate peak. Anyways, you put that in the comment section. I will continue to read. Home prices, mortgage rates, inventory levels, and commissions will all shape out the housing affordability through the remainder of this year. Curious where these trends may go? Read on to learn what the experts predict for the rest of 2024. All right, here we go. Eddie, scroll down. All right. The rates roughly double back to 2022, thanks to the Federal Reserve on the war of inflation, and they will stay high since. While the Fed does not directly set mortgage rates, mortgage lenders take cues from them. The mortgage rates climbed in tandem with the Fed's long string of rate hikes. There's a lot of nuance there. That they made that seem like it's a hard line. There's a lot of nuance there. The Fed has finally started a cycle of its much anticipated rate cuts, and one more is likely coming before the end of the year is out. With home prices still reaching record heights and the demand for homes outpacing the supply, it seems home buyers will still be feeling the squeeze through the rest of this year. They're like, I think that's going to go in there. So, Eddie, stop, scroll up. Eddie, you're going too far. All right, the median sales price in September was $404,500. The highest September median price has ever been reported is about $20,000 short. So it was $424,000 at the peak in September, but it was even higher than that. No, not 530. Not 530. Close, Greg. Nice to see you here, by the way. The nation had a 4.3 month supply of housing inventory as the September per NAR, National Association of Realtors, which is the big improvement over a year ago, but still low enough to consider a seller's market. Home price growth increased in August by 4.2%. The S&P CoreLogic's latest index that marks the index of the 15th consecutive all-time high. Bankrate's latest national survey of large lenders shows that the average of the 30-year was 6.88. Oh, U.S. inflation as of September was 2.4%, getting closer to the Fed's stated goal of 2%, but not quite there. And everybody, I know you guys are smart because you guys watch the show and you know that like every time the Fed cuts the rate, that doesn't mean the bonds market is going to react in a way that makes mortgage rates go lower. Kyle Seagraves, when the House 11 was on here, and he even had said when the Fed cut the rate last time, he didn't see that there was going to be much change in interest rates and they could even go up. Well, sure enough, he was right. He's in the mortgage business. He understands this a lot better than, most of us. So he was right. So even though we may see some cuts from the Fed. That does not mean that we're going to see mortgage rates come down. So,
Super chat.
thank you. Pooh Blaster Day with $5 super chat. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I truly appreciate it. I still got a couple more days. I still got a couple of days. Shucks, I missed it by like less than 1K. La la laughs. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. So this is the part that was interesting to me. So how may this affect home prices and affordability remains to be seen. The new rule means that buyers will have to say how much they're willing to pay on the buyer side. So you guys know that there was a big real estate settlement that had came out that said that all the major brokerages had to pay into a lawsuit. I believe it was like $7.8 billion that they had to pay out. You want to know the kicker about that? This is the part that's a real kick in the teeth. All the plaintiffs that brought the case to trial, you would think they're going to get a big hunk of change because they won this lawsuit. Well, they were very disappointed to find out the majority of that money went to all the attorneys and all the court fees. They didn't get that much back, not that much at all. So they're really ticked off. And another interesting about this thing about the lawsuit, the guy who brought it all to fruition and gathered up all these plaintiffs to sue the National Association of Realtors and, and bring all these brokerages to task. He has now opened his own brokerage that is a la carte kind of discount brokerage. Interesting, right? Yeah. Ken Johnson, a chair of the real estate program at the University of Mississippi, predicts little will change. The settlement did nothing to lower the cost of operations for brokers. If anything, the cost of operation has been increased. Brokers will find a workaround and go back to doing business pretty much as usual. And a lot of people had said that. I will say this. If you think that because, there was before the settlement, a lot of people said real estate transactions cost 6%, and now the home price is going to come down 6%. Well, that didn't really happen. That didn't happen at all. There's still room for negotiation for you as a buyer and a seller. So don't ever think, and it was like this beforehand, the commissions were always negotiable. This lawsuit just brought it to light that I don't think the public was necessarily very aware of the fact that those commissioned fees were negotiable. Now they call it compensation. So every state kind of works it a little bit different. So if you're a little bit confused about that, you're going to want to check with the brokerage in your area on how they handle those compensations. But you'll get a form on that. Hello, Red Jacks. Did we only get one guess what the highest median home price was, which was $540? Man, I missed that. Lower mortgage rates will help spur home sales activity. Yeah. Declines in mortgage rates would drive more sellers to trade their existing home and help add much needed inventory to the market, leading to more transactions. Eddie, can you scroll down a bit, babe? Please. I'm calling him babe because he's my husband. All right. So this is what they're saying. Will housing inventory increase? Much needed inventory, housing supply will remain low. It has been inching up slowly. Overall number of existing homes on the market for the sales of September sat at 1.39 million units, up to a healthy 23% from the previous year. Even so, that represents only a 4.3 month supply, still short of this 5 to 6 month supply usually needed for a balanced market. And that's what we've always said. If you have a 6 month supply of homes on the market, that's pretty normal. More supply in the beginning to appear, as this could be an early indicator of more sales later for customers seeing more choices and home prices no longer perk up. For inventory levels to improve significantly, though, they would need to have an entire surge of homeowners listing their existing homes and properties, or a huge amount of new construction hit the market, but it seems unlikely before the end of the year. And that's what I keep telling you. in the areas that have the most new construction, that's where you're seeing the most price corrections. And another thing that I found really interesting is areas like Orlando, Florida, Miami, Palm Beach. Everybody's like, oh, home prices are sinking. People are so underwater. But they were only factoring in the fact that there were so many houses that were either townhomes, condos, those type of houses, right? And when you have those, they had, their HOAs have been refurbished and they had to do all these assessments, and that's what's bringing down the median price of homes in the area, because they included that in the median price. But if you live in a smaller single family home in Orlando, you really don't have that much of an issue selling it. Just saying. So home prices have been on fire lately, accumulating. Oh my God. I'm just going to skip it. In historic highs, September's median of 404 is still the highest in September, priced ever recorded by NAR. So will home prices drop before the end of the year? Probably not. Oh my God. Holy cow. What is my problem? Let's try this again. Mortgage delinquencies rates are historic lows, and therefore there are very few distressed properties for sale. This will keep home prices steady and definitely will not decline in a meaningful way. I think we're going to see some adjusting in 2025. You can let me know what you think. Prices are intricately connected with the housing inventory. Sellers are likely to remain reluctant to give up their low interest rate for a much higher one. So inventory will remain constrained. Ooh, that rhymed. She says, as more time passes, more homeowners may be forced to sell due to life events. So inventory may rise on current anemic levels, but it's unlikely to increase much. That means that prices are unlikely to fall on the year-over-year basis unless demand falters. You know what? Stop right there. Stop, Eddie. Please stop. Please go back. Please. Okay. The interesting part of this, it says more homeowners may be forced to sell due to life events. What do you think they're referring to? Do you think that we're going to see job numbers come down? Like, that to me seems like these are experts and analysts. So I'm always reading into some of the words that they use. I have yet to have seen anybody point or say something like that. What life events are they expecting to happen as more time passes? Yeah, what about unemployment? That's right. The numbers were like, they were still up, but they weren't great this last time he went through. I mean, they weren't like, woohoo, everybody's got a job. They put another, 500,000 jobs on the market. It wasn't like that. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, life events. Yeah, but it just seemed weird that it says like what is it about in time that this person is saying? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that maybe they're thinking that the jobs market's gonna take a hit. I don't know. I'm reading into it. Throwing this on, they were saying the same thing before the GFC. What is a GFC? Could be a family is getting bigger. Yeah. The thing is that a lot of people will stay in their house, a small house. If, even though their family has grown, if the interest rates are high, they're like, you know what, we'll make this work. We're going to throw 2 kids in one room. We're going to get some bunk beds in the other room, and we're going to make it work for a while until these interest rates come down. Especially can you imagine getting a house like 4 years ago and your family has grown since then, and you're at a 2.5% interest rate and you're going to jump into something that's nearly 7% just to be bigger? Your payment would be so much higher. Most people can't do it. They won't do it. Like, oh, you thinking like a great financial crisis, or you're just asking? I don't know. like I said, I was just putting on my tinfoil hat. I'm thinking that it's going to be a jobs market thing. Because, I mean, you were hearing more layoffs. We're hearing about it all the time. God's grace says, greetings to all. We can prepare for January 2025 escrow analysis. Yeah. Can't. Yep. Oh, global financial crisis, 2008, 2009. Yeah, I wonder what would be the catalyst though, because the catalyst last time was, of course, those wonky mortgages, those terrible, interest only loans, and they were just terrible. There was just stated income loans. We don't have that now. That's not a thing. And a lot of people restructured their loans after the pandemic. I was very concerned about that when I saw how many people took the hit. They were like, "Oh, we'll go ahead and do we'll do the refinance, or we'll just go ahead and take these payments and throw it on the back end." I'm like, as soon as it starts back up again, these people aren't going to pay it back. And sure enough, everything worked out. They restructured their loan. They ended up putting those payments towards the end of the loan, and I don't know. Rick Smith said we weren't around for the 2007, 2008. You weren't, Rick. I was in the middle of it. I had little ones. I had little babies. Me and Eddie did. We had little babies, and that's how we ended up in Louisiana, because I saw the writing on the wall when I was in Florida. I'm like, there's no way that this house is worth what they're selling for right now. We should sell it. And we did, because I was done with Florida. I wanted to get out. And that's how we ended up in Louisiana. Is it Amy Richard or Amy Richard? Is it the Louisiana spelling? Is it the Louisiana pronunciation, Richard, or is it Richard? I have to know. All right. Amy says, put an addition on the home instead. Pay as you go, old school. Right. Remember back in the day? I mean, that's what our parents did. They were like, well, you know what we could do is we'll just add a game room, or we'll make the game room into a bedroom. I had a playroom in my house, and when my brothers got older, my older brother did not want to share a bed or bedroom with my other brother. So they took that game room, and I mean, I'm telling you, it was as big as a closet, but it would fit a twin size bed, and they threw that in there and turned it into a bedroom. Didn't even have a window. It was supposed to be my playroom, and I got booted out because my brother, who was 10 years older than me, wanted it. Too Evil says, question: purchased a mixed-use property, congratulations, with a tenant in place in New Jersey. The seller is ignoring requests for rental deposit escrow transfer. They were not at settlement, and our real estate agent is really bad. Any tips? Okay, so I know that New Jersey is an attorney state. So what I would do is get with your closing attorney and ask what can be done. Here in Louisiana, it would be handled completely differently. But if you're like, there's monies due, I don't know if you closed yet. It looks like you have, because you said purchased a mixed use property. I would get with your title attorney and see what if there's a way to get that money from the previous sellers. That's what I would do. If it was in the contract and that wasn't settled at closing, that's on the title office too. And, there's agents out there. I'm not saying all agents, but there are some real estate agents out there that are just not nice people. We'll just put it that way. Oh, it is. I was right. It is Amy Richard. Yep. We should do Smallhorn crowdfunding private lending. That would be great. I would want that for affordable housing options. Homes that modular homes that can be pre-funded if you had a good enough credit score. I'm actually meeting with some builders. I'm going to be meeting with some builders in Missouri that are building affordable modular homes. It's a kit home, but it's the full kit home. So you would have to hire a general contractor. These houses are built to IRC code. Once they're put together and you have your general contractor put them together, they will meet full lending. So you could get an FHA, rural development, anything. But I'm thinking if I could have that with a piece of land and work with a lender and have them approved for the neighborhood for these houses, that would be one less step for somebody getting into affordable house. It's a dream. I'm hoping it's wishful thinking. That's how my brain works. So Clark, the realtor, or it's just Clark now, who's also the moderator extraordinary. So Clark says, I'm scared for the people who bought and was told that they could refinance a year later and the rates went back up. Clark, do you remember? I'm going to ask everybody in the chat if you remember this. It was about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And all these lenders and all these real estate agents were all over social media sharing this meme, a little clip, a little oh, isn't this cutesy? Where it said, date the rate, marry the house, or marry the house, date the rate, however you want to say it, vice versa. I said from the get-go, that is the dumbest thing to tell people to do, because that's gambling. You're gambling. There's no guarantee that it will come down. So you'll get these people that are so hopeful, right? And if they were struggling, they were like, well, it's okay. We can make it work for a year, because, if we make it work for a year, we can refinance when it comes back down. Kristina says, that made me very nervous. I loathed it. And every time it came out of somebody's mouth that was in the lending profession, I'm like, I would never use you. I will never, ever, 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 ever use you. Or as a recommendation, date the rate, marry the house. What the heck? You still hear that. I see, that's just gross to me. Yeah, date the rate, marry the house. I don't know. I think it's downplaying something that is so incredibly serious and making it sound like, oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it. It feels to me, in my opinion, when you use those kinds of words, that you're just very slimy salesperson. You're not taking this very expensive, very important financial decision in most people's lives and you're bringing it down to a meme. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm being hypersensitive, but I just saw what happened in 2008 with so many people who genuinely thought that they could refinance the house because it was going to increase in value so much. And then when their interest only loan came due, not only did the house not increase in value, now they have this really expensive interest rate that they have to pay on. And that's why a lot of people are like, I can't do that. I'm going to walk away from this house. That's one of the situations that happened during that time, because a lot of these lenders who got themselves in trouble with predatory lending practice, they sold them on this. And I don't know. Eric DeLu says, like dates in the real world can be great or lead to disaster. Yeah. We have a lot of recipes for disaster, that's for sure. All right. It is gross. And it sounds like frat boy talking about women, the versus the girls they use. Ick. Yes. Yeah. It's got that bro talk. Yeah. Like, come on. Don't you want to do it? Everybody's doing it. Come on. Just date the rate and marry the house. It's fun, dude. Come on. Everybody's doing it. Don't you want to be cool? Sounds like an after school special. Kids, don't do it. Make sure you understand all the repercussions. So, not everybody needs a house. I will say not everybody can afford a house, but everybody technically needs a place to live. And it has to do with your version of the house, right? I think everybody deserves to have a safe place to live in, whether that's an apartment, a tiny home. Everybody deserves to have a place to live. I'll leave it at that. Lawnmower said, could it be that they don't understand what they're saying? They just think it's a good catchphrase. No, they understand what they're saying. I've heard it from very seasoned lenders, very seasoned mortgage brokers that have been in doing this for a very long time. That's what shocked me. And like soon as I heard it from their mouth, I'm like, ooh, it gives me the ick. I'll never use you. Like I erase them from my contact list. Erase them from my contact list immediately. Date the rate, marry the house. I don't know. I just don't like it. Clark says, on top of that, taxes and insurance might have gone up in that time too. 100%. You're exactly right. And, I don't know of an area now that doesn't have an increase in homeowners insurance. I know people that live in areas that don't have, flooding, and they don't have significant weather events, and they've had an increase in insurance. Not anything like we are here on the coastline, but they've seen a significant increase. Like, from one year to the next to go from, let's just say $1,000 to $1,500. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it does add to your payment. So, and then of course, when home prices go up, your property taxes go up. So date the rate sounds terribly close to something else. I don't know that. Whatever the something else is, you're going to have to let me know. I don't know. I'm a little too clueless. Yeah, it's the age. It's going to be my birthday on Tuesday. It's already fading. It's already going away. It's not all together yet. Rick Smith says everyone deserves a place to live, but it hasn't been happening in forever. Yeah, I know. That's why I've been talking about that since 2018. Some of the most affordable housing options are now extremely expensive. It is not unheard of here in Louisiana to get a piece of land with a very small mobile manufactured house, and it's over $200,000. I was talking to a guy last week. I filmed a house that he had put in a manufactured home park, mobile home park. And I was like shocked. Now that mobile home, I think he said it was $78,000. And if I remember correctly, before the pandemic, that thing was like $54,000. Wow, right? Yep. Debbie Brady says part of the reason that so many people are now living in their vehicles, even renting, is too high for the average person to afford, even with a decent job. And like I've talked about this before, Debbie, you're exactly right. There are some people that we would consider homeless, but they're working homeless. They are just living out of their car. And there's been like these little communities in some areas, like churches have opened up their parking lots and have allowed people who are working to be able to stay in their parking lot during that time. And they even lock the gates, like at 10 p.m. Even if you try to come in after 10 p.m., nope. And they have like set up a little like kitchen area and bathroom area. So that way these people could basically, clean themselves up, get ready for the day to go to work because they're not making enough for rent in the area. In the more expensive areas, it's becoming more and more common. And if you think it's just, only California, this is happening in Colorado. This is happening in Montana. This is happening in Wyoming, where areas have exploded in cost of living. And so people that live and work regular jobs can't afford to live in that area anymore. So they have no choice but to live in a car. It's a problem. That's why I think that we need to have more of a discussion about affordable housing. And this week, I'm letting you guys know, because you guys are here, you get the little sneak peek. Tuesday, my video is coming out, and it's the dumbest things people say. The dumbest things that people say about affordable housing and why they don't want it. And I actually even have like a bunch of characters that have wigs. They may look exactly like me. I did a little sketch comedy in here because I think it comes out on Tuesday. And everybody needs a little laugh on Super Tuesday for my birthday. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming out on 8:45 a.m. on Tuesday. So Overjoyed says, I see nice 1-bedroom, 1-bath rental apartments in Texas for $750. Perhaps they forgot to update their websites enough to make them consider moving. At my rate of my HOA fees and assessments are increasing. HOAs have increased a lot. I saw an article, speaking of HOAs, somebody sent me an article, a subscriber did, that the HOA was put together by the builder in the area, and the land that this HOA was sold to them by the farmer that lives right next door. That HOA started sending the farmer letters saying that his farm equipment was an eyesore. They're going to start fining him if he doesn't move that stuff away from the HOA itself. Like, they thought they had a leg to stand on. He's like, that's my land. I gave it to you. I don't have to, respond to your rules and your covenants. It has nothing to do with me. You're just wasting paper. And, those stupid idiots sued him. And they've gotten laughed out of court twice. They couldn't let up the first time. They thought the first time they were still right. And they went after him the second time. And they were like, they lost. Stupid HOAs are so dumb. Rick Smith says America is a failure in giving its own citizens a place to live, even in the most basic shelters. Oh, that's just one of so many problems. Like, yes, you're exactly right. And one of the most controversial things I ever said on this channel that really got me like a bunch of crap from a lot of people was I said everybody deserves a safe place to live. Like, I didn't know that was, like, honest to God, I never in a million years thought that would be the thing that really, like, got me canceled, was that, God forbid, everybody has a safe place to live. Whew. I'm willing to take the heat on that. Lawnmower says, my insurance has gone up 50% since 2020. Me too. Mine is too. Actually, it went up 100%. 100%. It was 2,000, then it was 4,000. Wild, right? Ugh, why is it called daylight savings time when it's already getting dark here at 5 p.m.? This is my favorite time of the year. I hate Springer Dead. Like, this to me makes me very happy. Very, very happy. When I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I'm such an early riser. I got up at 7:15. I'm like, oh, daylight savings time. I was so proud of myself. And then I was like, oops, whoopsie. Oh, Eddie, we have a phone call. Go ahead and put on one of the phone calls. I would skip the first one because go to the second one. I think it's Moira or Mariah. I think her name's Mariah. If you go into the desktop area, it will say Mariah, like Mariah Carey. Mariah.
This is Kristina Smallhorn. Thanks for calling into my live stream.
That's
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Stop. That's not it. If you go into the desktop, Eddie, it will say the name Moira or Mariah. Oh, look. Palazzo bags are in the house. I still love mine. You got to go check
Mariah?
out the There we go.
Portland, Oregon. With the new law, are you required to have signed a contract with the buyer's agent in order to attend an open house?
Okay, great question, Mariah. So this is going to depend on your state. So I've seen it in even in this state, it's not necessarily required. Like you go see the sign on a Sunday afternoon, you see a sign that says open house, you walk in the door and you take a walk around. The agent may ask you a couple questions, but you get the chance to tour the house and they may not require anything from you. In other areas, they say, if you don't mind, please go ahead and sign in. It's required by my brokerage for you to sign in. That does not mean that you're entitled to work with me. I have to have this here to show my broker that there was people that came through and, we have that information. Now, other states will say it's only for that specific house. So you have to sign an agreement just for that particular house to be able to tour it. And if you do want to purchase it, you have to work with the agent that's in there. This is very area specific. I wish I had a one fits all answer, but I just don't. But I would check with your local area to make sure that you understand what the rules are. I think, for me, and you can tell me, guys, in the comment section, open house is really just a place for people to kind of look to see how it's decorated. They want to see the house. Neighbors are being nosy. They want to see how much it's going up for. I just think we should continue with that. I don't mind people signing in and saying they were there, but I don't think we should go through a whole legal document in order to just, keep eyeballs on a house. That's just my opinion. I've got a million of them. Just ask me. Just ask me. Like the hoops that we've had to go through now, because of regulation is ridiculous. Not that I'm saying that things don't need to be regulated. I'm not one of those people, but for this particular thing, they seem to have gone a little overboard. But this too shall pass. You'll see. The pendulum will swing the other way. Once it goes one way, then all of a sudden, a year or two later, it flips the other way. Yep. We have another call. That came in. Yep. Can you see the government stepping in and having government housing projects like they did in the 60s and 70s? No, I do not. Because those government housing projects were built by the government. This time the government's like, I will give the private sector the money to build those houses, but we're not building them because we're not going to be responsible for them. I can't see that kind of housing ever being approved again. The other reason too is that local people are much more involved when it comes to anything that's being proposed when it comes to affordable housing, and aesthetically they disapprove of anything that would look, affordable. You know what I'm saying? Like in their mind, what you're describing, they used to make, which were these block apartments that were one right after another. They were cinder block. They were very unattractive. A lot of them have been torn down since then. So, that's what people imagine in their minds. So when you have these meetings, they inform the new the area, the builders will show them, these are the plans, this is what it will look like, so they can vote on it and see if it gets approved for the area. Most of the time, people just always poo-poo on affordable housing. As soon as they hear the words affordable housing, they think, something completely different. And that's exactly what my video is about on Tuesday. I thought I'd go ahead and plug that in. 8:45 on Tuesday morning. Go ahead and look for it. And I have a whole, you're going to be surprised. I'm going to show you something. I even wear wigs in this video. This next video coming up, I have a whole wig collection. Look, this is one of them. This is one of my wigs I wear in my videos. I have a bunch of them here. Look at that. Hang on, everybody. I have wigs. I have accents. It's going to be fun. It's going to be all in fun, but it's going to point out all the things that people say about affordable housing. So, Eddie, if you could pull up that next call, I'd greatly appreciate it. Kristina and her wings. Or wigs. Yeah, wigs. Yeah, I got
Miguel
another one.
Mojica in Cape Coral, Florida. So right now I talked to Redfin. I sent you a text earlier, but I don't know. And the Redfin associate said that I wanted to put the house on the market for 3 months. She told me, oh no, you got to put it in for 5. So I wanted to know, is that a rule? Is that the law? Can it be for 3 months as I requested? Or do I have to follow the rules and sign the line, put on the market for 5 months for their demand?
Oh, that is a great question. No, you could literally sign a listing agreement for 3 days or 1 day or 24 hours. A listing agreement, just like compensation towards the real estate agents, is negotiable. And even though they might put a hard line on the sand and saying, well, we have to do it for 3 months. No, nope, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. This is your house. And, you can do it for just a few days. Now, with that being said, this is a negotiation tool for you as well as it is for the real estate agent. So the real estate agent will say, okay, look, if you only want to go ahead and list your house for a month, there is some cost to me as a real estate agent, and I can't recoup that cost until your house sells. So, we have professional photographers, we have ads that we put out on, social media sites. We do an ads in the newspaper. We go ahead and do all these videos that go out to all the social media sites that are also used for ad spent on these social media sites. So that money might have to come out if you decide to cancel the listing agreement before the end of the 3 months. And I've seen that done many times. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying that's a possibility, because they have put up all this upfront cost and they're not willing to eat it in order for you to go to another brokerage. This is one, you guys should know this. If you do pay for that, right? So they did these professional photographs, and you also got a professional video, and you cancel that contract, and they say, well, you owe me the money for those things. Well, they now belong to you. They're yours. So you can keep those photographs and you can keep that video, and it belongs to you now because you paid for it. And if that's also the case, you decide to hire somebody else, you don't have to have all new pictures taken. You can just go ahead and say, look, I already paid for them. Here you go. Here you go. Yep. Hey, D-Jack, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hey, you guys, you got to let me know. What do you think of this, this wig? Let's see. I got this one here. This is the one I'm always like. Look. Oh, look at here. I thought, don't I look beautiful? I didn't wear this wig on the videos in this video for Tuesdays. Isn't she pretty? She's so pretty. So funny. Clark says, yep, they might have you reimburse them for photography, video, and additional marketing materials. That is correct. That is correct. Eduardo, I believe we have one more call. I believe we have one more call to go up there. That is an that is the president of the HOA wig. Oh yeah, it's the Karen wig. Yep. If you guys didn't see my video last Tuesday, I talked about the HOAs because they ain't okay. The HOAs ain't okay. And I said, what do you call a group of Karens hanging out together? And it says the HOA. Yeah. I think I should wear this for the rest of the stream. But then if I do that, I end up talking with my Jersey accent.
You're speaking with Noel Anderson.
Oh, that's the same
I'm
one.
in Loudoun County, Virginia.
That's the same. No, I think so.
I purchased a house back in 2020. Yes. And I was wondering if I should sell it. It's worth about $1 million now. I mean, I only bought it for 800, so it's gone up 20%. I've been kind of sick for the past couple of years, so I haven't really worked. And
I'm really
sorry. Probably buy something somewhere else that's cheaper, or rent. I mean, I don't know.
All right, Eddie, pause
about which areas you're
Stop.
interested in.
Stop, Eddie. Stop it. All right. So my AI assistant has been a real pain in the rear end, and poor Noel had to suffer the consequences. So I already called him to let him know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just play, I hope, guessing what he was really asking. So he has a house. He wants to know if it's probably going to be a smart idea to probably downsize and get something a little less expensive right now. I would say that you always have to look at your financial situation right now. If you're don't have a consistent work history over the last year, it's going to be really difficult for you to get a mortgage. But that is also going to be true to get an apartment, because they screen for that as well. So it may be in your best bet to see if you could get like a roommate to help you pay or offset those costs, or you could or you should go ahead and talk to a financial planner and advisor. I know that seems like a huge expense, but I promise you, when I tell you, as soon as you do, it's kind of like one of those things like, oh man, I should have called one a lot sooner. They've really helped Eddie and I. We've had tax preparers and all sorts of stuff over the years. And then we just got in with a group of guys, and we're like, oh, we could save a lot more money. Because, I mean, that's financial advisors. That's what they do. So they know what they're doing. Yep. Pooh Buster's video day. Yep. Here it is. Pooh Buster's day. So Kristina's old OG videos are some of my favorite. The weird house ones. Yes. So you're going to be very pleasantly surprised, because I'm going right back to my roots of very crazy, very silly, ridiculous things with a lot of sketches. It's fun. It's going to be a fun video with some information, of course. Yeah. The AI assistant is trying to be empathetic. Yes, the AI assistant was trying to be empathetic, but the problem is that she's super rude because she interrupts you in the middle of you speaking. Because you know how I do this too, where you have a moment where you're talking and you're just trying to gather your thoughts. So you just pause for just a second. And then she can't handle the silence. The AI assistant robot, Kristina, is just obnoxious. And she she interrupts people all the time. Every single time. They'll be mid-sentence, she'll be like, oh, I understand. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, damn, she's rude. She's so rude. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. Unfortunate if a member of the HOA is really named Karen. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like it was one of those names. Yep. Question: how did you find your financial advisor you trusted? Word of mouth. I did. I was all word of mouth. So, I've been in real estate around here for quite some time. I've made lots of relationships with all sorts of people. And poor Eddie and I have gone through our fair share of tax preparers. And every single one of them, I swear to God, has a screw loose. I mean, they're nuts. So we were trying to get all the stuff for our taxes because, your house, you can take tax deductions if you work from home on your house. And if you have like certain LLCs or S corps or whatever, there's other tax deductions. I don't know any of that. That's why I hire people to do that. And it just so happened that the lady that we have been using for years, I think her screw even got looser over the years because it just things were not adding up correctly. So I ended up contacting a bunch of people and asking them who's doing their taxes for them. And it just so happened that this tax preparer's office also had financial planning in there as well. So they work in tandem with each other. It was great because, we all sat in a room together, tax people, financial planner people. We all sat down and we said, this is our new plan. What a freaking relief. Oh, so much better. Yep. Oh, I missed that. What was that say? What did that say? Annie, what was that? I missed it. Watch out, chat. Kristina is about to fine us. I'm not going to fine you. That's it. Just make sure you keep your kids off my lawn and pick up your dog's poop. That's it. That's all I want from you people. So I don't have to call the board on you. You have to get a real Karen wig. I actually have one. I have about 20 different wigs. I had one that I was supposed to wear today, but my cat peed on it and I had to throw it away. I was so upset. I put it up on the counter. I don't know what about this wig made her feel like she needed to deposit her love on it, but yeah. Hi, Grandma. Yeah, I know. I'm not too far off from a grandma. On Tuesday's my birthday. I am going to be, I'm either going to be 52 or 53. I can't remember. Yeah, Susie Ormond. That's right. That she has the ultimate Karen cut. Back in the day, John and Kate +8, that woman, man, I thought she had the coolest haircut I'd ever seen. And I thought, when I get older, I'm going to get that haircut. Whoopsie. Nope. Speaking the truth, sister. All right. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat and I will give you a little discussion. That the thing about wigs, I'm going to tell you right now, I know this has nothing to do with real estate. They itch. They totally itch. Yep. The feline revenge. Yep. It was. Eddie, you know what? There was another article that said what their predictions were for 2025. The first one was about the predictions for the rest of the year of 2024, but they have one that's already out for 2025. Yeah, her cat was giving her opinion about my wig. She sure was. Yeah, she was not. Yep. La 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 la. Eddie Smallhorn in the house. I hope he's not watching. He hates when I say this because he's like, I was not watching football. But I can hear, I know he's watching football. I don't blame him. Yep. Karen C has a question. She's not the regular kind of Karen. Here we go. Karen C says, I am self-employed and find it hard if not impossible, to get a loan for a condo or a manufactured home. Okay, so Karen, there's a couple things that happen with condos. There's two kinds of condos. There's ones that are FHA approved and there's ones that are not. And here, even though condos are very affordable here in Louisiana, unless you can get conventional financing, they're nearly impossible to get financed. It's not you, it's the system. I understand what you're saying. Now, with manufactured housing, the other reason why that's difficult, if you're trying to buy a mobile home, there's so many different products, and a lot of lenders do not have those products in their brokerage themselves. 21 First Mortgage is one of the ones that do it all the time. And Vanderbilt is another one that does mortgages for mobile homes. Now, if you happen to live in an area that has a rural development office, they can recommend you somebody that does manufactured housing. They will not give you a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on a manufactured home if you are planning on living in a manufactured home park where you're renting the land underneath it. This is a different type of mortgage. That's called a chattel loan. And you're only paying for the house in one note payment, and you're paying the park itself a different payment. Not a lot of lenders do manufactured housing. They just don't. A good portion of lenders don't even know what manufactured housing is, and they think that manufactured housing is the same as modular housing, which it's not. So I would call around. I would tell you this: go to your local credit unions first. Somebody local to that area that understands your real estate market, like a local credit union. You're probably going to have a lot more success with that. So, all right. So it says, do you think that home prices will remain high through 2024? 69% of you said yes. Yes. 16% of you said no. 8% of you said not sure. And 7% of you said depends on the election. That would surprise me because I don't know how many people over the years, over my lifetime, tell me if you've heard this in your lifetime. Don't buy in a house during an election year. You're going to regret buying a house during an election year. You know, everything's going to collapse until after the election's over. You know, like every time. Doesn't matter who's running. Doesn't matter what walk of life you are in what season of life. I've heard it my entire life. Never buy a house during the election year. So I thought for sure some people would be like, well, it'll change after the election. So I was interested. Don't forget to vote, everybody. You know, like I said, Tuesday is the big day. We all got to get out there and vote. And it's also my birthday. So if you could do me that one favor, go out there and get your voices heard. Vote for me. Not physically. You know, like don't write my name in. I'm just saying go vote because I said so, because it was my birthday. It's my birthday present. You go vote for the person you want to vote for, but because of me. I hope that makes sense. If you guys need to get a hold of me this week, I will be in town. Last week I was in Pittsburgh all week. So this week I will be in house. I will be in town. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can go to my website, KristinaSmallhorn.com. Pick one of the pink buttons, any of them, fill out the form, and I will get an email and I'll give you a little ring-a-ding-ing. We'll have a little conversation. Can you get a reverse mortgage on a manufactured home? I do not know, but I believe you cannot. I believe that's a big, giant no-no. I could be wrong. You know what? I'll ask. I'm guessing. I'm going to go ahead and find out for you. And I'll let you know next week. How's that sound? Is that fair? Fair? It says anyone says you can get a reverse mortgage on a manufactured home criteria, including it has to be built after 1976. It's located on a permanent foundation. It meets HUD construction and safety standards. It's approved for FHA and HUD, and it has to be larger, and it's not larger than 400 square. I think Eddie, this is wrong. It says it's not larger than 400 square feet. most manufactured homes are larger than 400 square feet. I don't trust that answer. The internet has been known to be wrong before. I'm going to find somebody that can answer that question and answer it correctly for you next week. Starting at the beginning of the hour, I will find that out for you. Yep. Yep. So if you guys want to listen to this or share this as a podcast, I'm actually everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Just look up Kristina Smallhorn, Real Estate for Everyone. You can, Eddie puts that up on Monday morning. So this will be put up on all the podcast sites from Eddie on Monday morning. So you can share that with your friends, your coworkers. Someone needs to keep their mind off a Tuesday because it's going to be very stressful. Oh, Eddie, you're like, he just wants, this was from 2022 though. You're, yeah, there's a longer answer. Yeah, I'm going to look into it, Eddie. I'm going to ask somebody that does these because I think it's a lot harder than they're making it sound in this article. You know, who's up first says question, please share your opinion on the repeat natural disasters that destroy entire towns and how it impacts housing. Do most people rebuild? Does this increase stress on the existing limited supply? Okay, like this is where I'm going to tell you right now. Here in Louisiana in 2016, we had the most devastating flood that affected all of South Louisiana. Like it was like there wasn't anybody, even if your house didn't flood, you were affected by it because we couldn't even get around. It was absolutely terrible. We had a shortage of homes in the area that were in the affordable housing range. These people are now displaced, and some of them, their house was a complete loss. So then it does shorten the supply, making homes more increased in price. Not only that, some people elected to gut the whole entire house. They did not want to rebuild, but they gutted it and then sold the house basically as a remodel job. So yeah, yes, it does cause a financial stress on the area because it does increase the homes that are still available in that area. But I want everybody to understand this. If you have ongoing weather problems in your area, you're going to see an increase in your insurance in that area. And if there's less houses available, homes are more expensive and insurance is more expensive. It's going to be more and more unaffordable for you to live there. I think we're going to see a lot more weather-related migration for a lot of people around the country. I just, that's my prediction. I mean, I don't even think that's really even a prediction. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it.
Super chat.
Thank you. $10 for the Karen wig. Yeah, I think these wigs are from Amazon, so that will be perfect. That will be perfect because it will be exactly $10. You're gonna have to let me know what color you want me to get next time. So, yep. What is an interest-only loan? Why would someone get one? Okay, so there was like this thing where you were basically paying only the interest at the beginning of the loan for a short period of time, so that way your house could gain, because equity was going up really, really high during that time. So let's just say you had $100,000 loan. You were only paying the interest on it, so that way whenever the new price came up, you could go ahead and refinance it. And then you have a lower payment and you have all these equity. And not only that, you could borrow against that equity because you could do some creative financing and buy another house. These were all things like almost before the webinars. That's what people were being taught to do, to be smooth, savvy investors. But of course, it caused a financial disaster. That was one way that people used interest-only loans. They were awful. We're awful. RD says, question, whatever happened to public housing seems to be MIA. Public housing, I want to know what happened to smaller housing. I want to know what happened to all these initiatives that were promised to us for the last 10 years that we're going to house the homeless. They were going to house single mothers. They were going to house the veterans. I can tell you the answer, and none of you are going to like it. Everybody has these initiatives, and I've been involved in a lot of these initiatives that were supposed to help people in the future. They would have fundraisers. They would have all these balls. They would have politicians come out there and get their picture in the paper because, they're doing their best to solve the affordability crisis. And 10 years later, to this day, there is not one freaking house being built. There's always some stumbling block, but boy, oh boy, they can collect a ton of money. They can continue to fundraise. And then these politicians, all of them, every side, I don't give a flying poop who you're voting for, all of them stand up there and say, we're going to do our best to solve this. We're going to go ahead and give you another $10,000 grant. No, they're not building them. They're not building them. There's always some roadblock that says, well, we can't do that because, it could be a problem. I'm the kind of person when it comes to this specific issue. If you have the land, instead of asking for permission, go ahead and ask for forgiveness. Go ahead and throw these all out there first. And then find out if there was a problem with them. And if there's a problem with them, then we can fix it. But in the meantime, you have a growing problem of people not being able to afford a home. I don't know if they really want to fix it. I don't think they do. That was my rant. Sorry. Kristina got a little emotional there. Greg Scanlon says, how far in advance of retiring from your job should I hunt a loan? So you're going to go ahead and get you're going to go ahead and look for a house, right? You're going to do the monolithic dome home, if I'm correct. I would secure a lender that will do that specific type of financing. I'd start researching now. I would get pre-approval no more than 6 months ahead of time. That's what I would do. But I would go on the hunt to make sure you find somebody that's going to be able to finance you first. Yep. Before you don't need to have them pull your credit yet. Not if you're like a year out or something, Yep. Amy Richard says, that's why I want to crowdfund mini tiny homes edition, friendly houses, no banks needed. That is fantastic. I love it, Amy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, everybody. Next week, if you would like to have your call heard on the live stream about real estate, you can ask any real estate question within reason, and we'll have a whole discussion about it. You can call 888-255-0197. Chef Brooklyn says, popping in to say hi to Eddie and Kristina. Yay! Lee says, go Kristina, decades of promises, homes, and nothing happened. You poke the truth. Yeah, I do. It's true though. It's all true. It's all true. And then you find out the millions and millions and millions of dollars that are spent. Where's the money go? Oh, we had to get these plans and it costs a lot of money for this architect. For what? What architect? What are you architecting? You're not even building anything. What are you architecting? Everything smells a little stinky. So, all right, don't forget to vote on Tuesday. You hear me? It's for my birthday. It's my birthday present. So you're going to go out and vote just because I said so. Just because I said so. Thank you so much to the moderators today. And thank you, everybody, for spending this Sunday afternoon with me. We spent over an hour together, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Oh, Eddie put this out for me. Thank you, Edward. That was so kind. That was so kind. Look at I know he made that just himself. He's so good at this. So, all right, Eddie, go ahead and roll those credits. Everybody's going to want to see it. Don't forget Tuesday. You're going to see all my wigs and all my personalities coming on Tuesday's video about why people keep saying the dumbest things about affordable housing. Yeah, it's going to be a great video. Bye, everybody. So long. Farewell. Avita.
Kristina signing off. This stream's about to close. Tiny homes, big dreams, the wisdom she bestows. Real estate queen, always keeping us in toes. Hustle on 1,000, every vibe she shows. Goodbye, Kristina, see you next time. In a world full of chaos, you bring the prime. From modular homes to the mortgage climb. Catch you on the flip in the next on. From mobile homes to mansion goals, Kristina's wisdom breaking molds. Dropping knowledge like we dropping gold. Fuel is locked in, never getting old.